That's real. Are my babies safe? And you've created it for what? My legal name is Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. But Sussex for us works as our family name. And it's a name that we share with our children. No, I share my name with my children. Yes. And that feels so I didn't know how meaningful it would be to me. But it just means so much to go, this is our family name. Meghan Markle is seriously hitting a new low with the royals right now because King Charles is allegedly tweaking the line of succession in a way that basically cuts her kids out. And honestly, after everything that's gone down the last few years, I can't even pretend to be shocked. And if you needed any more signs that things are sliding downhill fast, Harry and Meghan just got iced out of the royal family's huge US tour next year, the one celebrating America's 250th birthday. Every major royal is flying in, smiling for cameras, doing the whole diplomatic thing, except the two who literally live in America. At this point, the message couldn't be louder. The royals clearly don't see Harry and Meghan as part of their future, especially after the interviews, the documentaries, the book, the headlines, all of it. So, let's break down exactly what's going on. By now, you've probably seen all the reports about the royal family gearing up for a massive US celebration in 2025. Charles and Camilla are scheduled to be there in April, and William and Kate are set to show up in July. Basically, every major royal has a spot on the itinerary, except Harry and Meghan, which is kind of ironic when you remember they're the only ones who actually live in America. Well, can you blame America for icing them out here? Meghan have spent the last nearly 6 years disrespecting both parties involved here. Insiders keep hinting at the same reason for the snub. Harry and Meghan have spent years criticizing the monarchy. From the racism allegations to the Netflix series to the press fights and the ongoing battles over security. And the prank call where Harry thought he was talking to Greta Thunberg but ended up insulting a US president definitely didn't help how he's viewed politically. So between the public drama and the private tension, the palace seems to be making their stance pretty clear. They don't want Harry and Meghan anywhere near an event this high profile. You're right that there was this excitement around them. It almost felt like a lot of hope for the future of the monarchy. That's all sort of riding on William and Catherine now, where we look to the future. Now, Meghan's reputation in the US hasn't been doing her any favors lately. She's shifted through so many public identities: actress, duchess, podcaster, lifestyle founder, and somehow the one that stuck online was Jamfluencer, which took off in a way she definitely didn't expect. Then things got messier with the Harper's Bazaar situation. Insiders claimed she had full control over her feature, and instead of coming off like a real profile, people said it felt more like a polished love letter she wrote to herself. The lack of actual insight made the criticism around her PR grow even louder. Yesterday, Harper's Bazaar dropped their December-January cover featuring none other than Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. On top of that, she still uses her Duchess of Sussex title on American projects, which a lot of people find odd considering she stepped back from royal duties years ago. And of course, there were those rumors about her wanting to be formally announced whenever she walks into a room, even if there are literally only 2 people in it, which I'm sure most of you have already seen floating around online. And as the journalist entered the room, Markle had a staff member announce her by her royal title, the Duchess of Sussex. And all of this plays into the bigger picture with Harry, too. He barely goes back to the UK anymore. And whenever he does make the trip, Meghan stays behind in California. He's openly said he can't see a world where he brings his family back without the level of security he thinks they need. I can't see a world in which I would be bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point. And the things that they're going to miss as well. Everything. You know, I love my country. I always have done. But here's the part most people don't realize. Privately, Harry was still hoping there'd be a chance to reintroduce Meghan and the kids to his side of the family someday. He wanted them to see where he grew up and to know the relatives they've never really met. That hope, though, is disappearing quickly, especially now that the succession rumors are getting louder and the distance between the families keeps growing. So when you look at everything that's been building up, it starts making sense why people think King Charles is tightening the rules in a way that directly affects Harry and Meghan's kids. The palace recently introduced this new eligibility update, and the whole thing felt oddly specific. They're now saying that any child in the line of succession must be raised full-time in the United Kingdom under direct royal oversight. And the moment that came out, everyone immediately realized Archie and Lily don't fit that description at all. They've lived in California since birth, never taken part in royal traditions, and haven't been raised inside the usual royal structure. You know, I miss the UK. I miss parts of the UK. Of course I do. And I think that it's really quite sad that I won't be able to show, you know, my children, my homeland. Then the palace added another layer, and this one was even harder to ignore. They introduced a guideline saying only children of active working royals get to stay in the line. Since Harry and Meghan stepped back in 2020, the rule conveniently gives Charles a clean-cut reason to remove their kids. Meghan supposedly sees this as punishment disguised as policy, especially because plenty of past royals weren't working members of the family and their children still kept their places without any issue. I need to do this for my family. This is not a surprise to anybody. It's really sad that it's got to this point, but I've got to do something for my own mental health. My wife's and for Archie's as well, because I could see where this was. And then came the part that really set the internet on fire. The talk about a new citizenship and residency clause. Insiders claim Charles wants heirs to either hold dual UK citizenship or spend a solid part of their childhood actually living in Britain. But the most eyebrow-raising part, the palace didn't stop there. Can you just tell them the truth? Can you say to the world you're not giving him a title and we want to keep him safe, and that if he's not a prince, then it's not part of the tradition? Just tell people and then they'll understand. The palace brought up security. They claimed anyone in the line of succession has to be under official British protection, which obviously isn't the case for the kids, since the family lives in California and handles their own security. But people were quick to point out that this argument doesn't really hold. Plenty of royal children in the past lived abroad or traveled constantly without full-time UK protection, and no one ever questioned their place. So, to a lot of people watching this unfold, it felt like another rule that conveniently only applies here. And on top of everything else, there's Charles's big plan for a slimmed-down monarchy. He's been talking about it for years, but using it as a reason to cut out 2 toddlers definitely caught people off guard. It didn't feel like streamlining. It felt personal, like the family was making sure one specific branch wouldn't be part of the long-term picture. No half in half-out role. No special arrangement. Nothing. He's sticking to the Queen's rule that you're either in or you're out, which pretty much answers why the kids aren't being included in any of the succession plans either. And this is exactly why the lawsuit chatter started. Meghan has reportedly already reached out to lawyers in California and the UK, because she thinks all these updates are targeted and unfair. She's been told that succession is tied to the 1701 Act of Settlement. And if the palace broke anything tied to that, she might have a case. No one really knows if she can actually take on the monarchy. That's not exactly a simple fight. But one thing's for sure, she's not letting this slide quietly. And if she really goes through with this, it's going to force Harry into a spot he's been avoiding for years. Because a lawsuit from inside the family doesn't just shake things up, it draws a line in the